Hey everyone, I'm here with a quick video on Lil Rodney and Diddy. So Lil Rodney accused Diddy of many things. He's suing Diddy currently a civil lawsuit, and Diddy has recently responded to Lil Rodney's second amendment of his lawsuit, asking the judge in the court once again to throw out Lil Rodney's request. Okay, and they named the reasons why. So let me go ahead and share a screen with y'all really quickly. So Diddy wants Little Rodney Jones' lawsuit dismissed. Diddy is firing back at Little Rodney Jones, saying his lawsuit is nothing more than a cash grab dressed up as a sex trafficking and RICO conspiracy. The rap mogul and his attorney, Mark, filed a motion to dismiss Jones' second amended complaint in Manhattan federal court Monday, attacking all the claims against Diddy point by point. That's Rodney Jones right there, the one that's suing Diddy. But mainly, Diddy is accusing Jones of trying to score a quick settlement by throwing around salacious accusations just to hurt his reputation. According to documents obtained by TMZ, Jones recently posted a video on X with rapper Uncle Murder, in which they are seen laughing about Rodney Jones' lawsuit against Diddy. Jones allegedly demanded Diddy pay him that money by Monday, noting he's from Chicago and doesn't play about our business. Now, I'm going to remind you of that video by showing it. Let me stop the screen and this screen and show you something else. Because I did post and I did a video when Lil Rodney was demanding that 30 million by Monday. Here's the problem though. Before this, Lil Rodney was not talking. He was being very quiet. He was staying out the streets. And I think he really should have continued to stay out the streets. Now, just because he did this video, does that mean that the judge is going to throw out Diddy's case? I don't necessarily think so, but I will definitely say this. I don't think this video helped them by any means. So let's get reminded and listen really quickly.
Diddy for that bread, nigga. Stop playing, nigga. You heard? My boy about that check, nigga. You know, you mean harm, nigga. I'm just saying, wrap up vibes. Whoa! Want that money by Monday, Diddy. Got my nigga that's suing Diddy for that bread, nigga. Stop playing, nigga. You heard? My boy want that check, nigga. You know, you mean harm, nigga. I'm just saying, wrap up vibes. Whoa!
He wanted his money. So that was Lil Rodney saying, you know, out there with they said it's the rapper name is Murder, whatever, Uncle Murder, saying that they wanted his money. Now he did this last week. And I think when you have a pending case, just sit down, lay low, and be quiet. Don't be in these streets acting a fool, right? But like I said, just because he did that video doesn't mean that the court is going to throw out Diddy's case, right? Or his case against Diddy. So Jones allegedly demanded Diddy pay him that money by Monday, noting he's from Chicago and doesn't play about our business. Diddy also says Jones failed to prove his business or property was injured under Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, better known as RICO. Jones had originally said his business or property was hurt due to non-payment for services he performed on Diddy's 2023 The Love album, Off the Grid. Okay. Diddy further says Jones never offered a primary claim under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000, showing that he was forced to commit a sex act in exchange for something of value or for a victim to any such act. On top of that, Diddy argued that Jones failed to provide essential details describing the sexual assault and sexual harassment claims he made against Diddy. In addition, Diddy called BS on all of Jones' other claims in his filing, namely premise, liability, emotional distress, and breach of verbal contract. He says Jones failed to show Diddy exercised control over premises where third parties committed alleged assaults. Diddy also argued Jones never stated a claim for emotional distress. As for breach of verbal contract, Diddy says that that's run beyond the statute of frauds. Okay, so Diddy is claiming that Lil Rodney has no case pretty much. As for Jones' attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, he has faced his own legal issues. Back in April, a judge referred Blackburn to grievance committee of New York's federal court district to determine if he violated the rules of the court. And making her decision, the judge pointed to glaring deficiencies in 5 separate lawsuits he filed. So Little Rodney, his lawyer is Tyrone Blackburn. Tyrone Blackburn has his own issues, and what might get Little Rodney's case thrown out of court is the deficiencies of his lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn. So Blackburn tells TMZ this is clearly a billing exercise by Combs' latest set of attorneys who are late to the game and are attempting to fill their pockets with this Hail Mary motion to dismiss before their client is indicted. So Little Rodney's lawyer is saying that Diddy is any day now he's going to get indicted and maybe be behind bars, and his attorneys are trying to clear up and dismiss all of these lawsuits before Diddy faces some criminal charges. Now we can get reminded here. I'm going to just back up and play, and we'll be reminded of what Little Rodney is suing for.
We broke a big story on the website. Diddy has been sued by a man who worked for him, claiming that Diddy had repeatedly sexually assaulted him. That is just the beginning of a lawsuit filled with salacious details. Charles, before we even get into it, we should say there are red flags on this lawsuit that something isn't right.
Right. But well, first let's start with what Rodney is alleging in the suit, which is that, as you said, not only Diddy repeatedly sexually harassed and assaulted him, but that there were associates around Diddy who were also involved in this. He names in the lawsuit, they are defendants in the lawsuit, Stevie J, longtime producer for Bad Boy and obviously very famous from Love and Hip Hop.
His son.
And then also Justin Combs, Diddy's son. He alleges that that he was involved in bringing in human trafficking, essentially, he says, and that some of the people that he was bringing for these sex parties were underage.
But as for Rodney, what he is alleging, among so many other things, some of which we're not going to talk about on television, but he is alleging groping, fondling, grooming, and you know, he goes on and on about going to a party where he says he was drugged and allegedly raped, or at least that's the insinuation from the lawsuit for sure. And it goes on and on and on. But he says he has receipts in this lawsuit. And one of the receipts is an image. Again, we're not going to show you this, but it's an image of a sexual act.
Right. He says in the lawsuit that it is Stevie J having sex with a man and he says that he got that image because Diddy sent it to him as a way to say, look, this is what we do, and you should join us in this. You know, this is what Stevie J does, it's what I do, and you should join us in this. That's how he describes this image. And it's in the lawsuit. We're not showing it to you, but what's interesting is that there are other places on the internet that it was published, that photo. And someone has come forward today and says that image is not Stevie J. The person says
it's a male porn star,
right? Who goes by the name Knockout, and he posted a much clearer photo of the same image and says you can tell in the clear image because the one in the lawsuit is very blurry, and he says this is me. It's Knockout. He says it is not Stevie J.
That's right. So Knockout is retweeting and reposting people who are saying this image has been circulating online for years, and for years it has been attempted to be pinned on Stevie J, when in reality it's Knockout. It's from a porno website, and he owns it. He's like, yeah, I'm a gay porn star. This is me. It's not Stevie J. Makes no bones about it. And he seems upset by the fact that he's been sort of roped into this lawsuit somewhat salaciously.
So Rodney Jones worked for Diddy, I believe, as a videographer.
Though he says he was hired as a producer. It sounds, the way he describes it in the lawsuit is he was hired to be a producer on the Love album, and ended up also doing videography, that he would have his phone out at all times recording videos and photos for Diddy.
And so a couple of weeks ago, before he filed this lawsuit, he clearly had beef with Diddy But the beef he mentioned isn't about these sexual indiscretions. The beef has to do apparently with money. And he actually started a GoFundMe. He put on his Instagram this video, and this is what he said again just a few weeks ago.
I took a year off straight working on this album. That album is the Love album, Off the Grid by Diddy. The contract that they gave me and the offer that they gave me was just disgusting. The producer fee, pennies, and on top of that, these guys are trying to steal my publishing. I can't go for that, so I'm fighting back. Taking Puff to court, suing him is not easy. I don't have the monies that it's going to take to fight him in court. So I'm just asking, you know, if you're in support, please. The link is in my bio to my GoFundMe.
So he posted that video.
And by the way, after Cassie filed her lawsuit.
Right. And we should say, so the GoFundMe he posted the GoFundMe. It was active. And then he posted just a couple of days later, he posted a second video and clearly at least wants people to think that he is in fear for his life.
Until further notice, I would not be performing at any gigs or anything like that for security reasons. My family, friends, and everyone close to me just feels like there's a lot of potential threats, and everybody's just telling me what he's allegedly capable of, and it's very scary for myself, and it has me worried about my kids, and just sleeping with anxiety and different things like that. So just moving forward, just want to pause on everything until we know that it's clear and safe for me to come back outside of work.
So he has filed this lawsuit. Now, Diddy's people gave us a statement, and they strongly deny what happened. They also point to one of the incidents that we should talk about first, an incident involving a gun that's in the lawsuit that they say does not align with the facts.
Right. The incident he's referring to is a shooting that happened in LA, in Hollywood, outside of a recording studio where Diddy was working. This happened in 2022. Now, according to Rodney, what he says in this lawsuit is that he witnessed Diddy and his son Justin go into a room, I believe it was a bathroom, with a third person. Right. There was an argument going on that he could hear, and then he heard a gunshot. When the door opened, he says that Diddy and Justin walked out, and he walked in and saw that there was a man laying on the ground who'd been shot in the leg.
I think the stomach.
Yes. He said, you're right, it was the abdomen. And he says he went to go tend to that guy. Now, that shooting was reported. It was something that was reported here in LA, except the way it was reported is that someone was shot outside of the studio, either a robbery or a drive-by, and that the victim then ran into the studio, and that's how they ended up in there. So a much different story from what Rodney is saying. But Rodney also says in the lawsuit that Diddy paid people off to say that's what happened.
Right. So he says that Diddy actually confronted Rodney right there on the spot and said, what your job when the cops ask is to say this was a drive-by and not tell them what actually happened in this bathroom. It's an ultimate, he said, going back to the videos that Rodney has put up and the request for GoFundMe money and the rest, it's a really bad fact for Rodney. It makes him look like he's out for money. That said, of course, Harvey,
well, he is out for money. We know that. I mean, he's filed the $30 million lawsuit.
But Jason's talking about motivation.
But it's two things at play here, right? It definitely question his motivation when he puts something like that out. At the same time, it doesn't mean that everything he's saying isn't true, but the way that would track with a jury is very difficult for Rodney, I think.
Hi, Letitia from Dallas. Hi, Harvey Charles. I knew when this Diddy situation and Cassie came out that there was going to be more people coming out of the woodwork, so to speak, and challenging anything that he said, talking about his situation, be it true or not. So now, if he does not settle, hopefully, if he's innocent, it'll show in the documents or in the court proceedings or whatever. But if you keep settling, more and more people are going to keep coming out just to see if they can get money from you.
That's facts.
Look, that is true. I just want to say one thing. Just as a lawyer, it is shocking to me that the lawyer didn't settle the Cassie case
before she filed this lawsuit and put all these allegations out there, because
it is stunning.
What we've seen, and again, I can't speak to the veracity of anything in that is alleged in these lawsuits, but a lot of them are leaning into these same facts that Cassie alleged, and that may be because they're making it up, or maybe that they saw the same things that Cassie says she saw.
But as the person who just Skyped in from Dallas, you knew this was going to happen, right? And as a lawyer, I'm just stunned because they paid Cassie the next day.
Right.
So if they're going to pay Cassie the next day,
Pay her the
why
day
didn't they pay her the day before and not have a lawsuit filed, which then opens the floodgates?
Woo, it opened the floodgates is an understatement. Let me just cut that off there. Yeah, so it did open the floodgates because after Cassie, lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit came against Diddy. But it's shocking to me that 1 minute Lil Rodney is saying that he's afraid for his life, and the next minute he in the street being all gangster talking about run me my money. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this latest update with the lawsuit, Lil Rodney versus Diddy, and Diddy saying that he wants the courts to throw it out. Chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next video.